My wonderful, beautiful, amazing Aquarius. I'm Gabriella from Gabriella's Vampire Tarot. For today, I'm going to be doing a general reading of past, present, future, 9-card spread. I'm going to be using the regular tarot deck, clarify with the vampire deck, draw a special vampire card, draw a vampire oracle, and draw 3 yes or no answers for thee. So let's get started on your reading. Okay, the general card is the 2 of Pentacles reversed. Let's look at the first row, which is also your past. You start off with 7 of Wands reversed, 10 of Cups reversed, wolf, and Judgment reversed. My goodness. Okay. Yeah, it just looked like that you kind of suffered some kind of lack of motivation. You pretty much had no, maybe confidence within yourself, and there was actually no kind of clarity and no form of celebratory moment that took place. So it looks like you suffered some kind of setback in the past, whatever it may have been. Well, the thing is, okay, I'm sorry this happened. It's like I really, will wish it would have not been the case. But sometimes, it's like, we are dealt with these setbacks, not because, it's like we're, meant to suffer in any way, but it's also to show how strong and capable you are to withstand these unforeseen or even foreseen circumstances in any way. So, but I could see how, due to, this any kind of setback, it caused you to lose motivation and any kind of inspiration, because normally with the 7 of Wands upright, it's like defending and protecting your crops, your idea children. But since it came in reverse, it's kind of like thinking, well, why do I bother? I understand completely. I mean, I know this combination all too well, because it's like the 10 of Cups, it's like there's no abundance, there's no happy home, happy hearth, happy family, there's no confidence within yourself, and especially with the Judgment reverse, it's like there's really nothing going on. I know that all too well. I've even experienced even the human, that told me about all of his major setbacks, that he had to suffer in his own way and stuff like that. But the thing is okay, it's like hopefully, it's not resonating in current times, because it did take place in the past, but that's why we're going to have to continue. Current times, you do get the Emperor. Ooh, Aries energy. 6 of Pentacles reversed. You're not really getting much out of this. Cancer energy with the Chariot, so you are ambitious and goal-oriented about something. I mean, you could have, this real passionate, strong, feeling within you regarding the Emperor. Maybe, this is where you find your motivation and inspiration again, where you pretty much just think, okay, the past, was probably a dark chapter of my life, but I'm not going to let anything, will continue on and stuff like that. Because the thing is, it's like, okay, you are dealt with setbacks, but are you going to let that keep moving forward? Are you going to let this kind of a problem just, follow you or join you on your beautiful journey? No. Because the thing is, it's like, and this is kind of like thinking, okay, I'm not really getting anything out of this whole current situation, but I do see incredibly ambitious and goal-oriented about wanting to actually head towards an alternative route. So that's what I'm saying, is, it's like you shouldn't allow any kind of negativity follow you. Just learn from any kind of past mistakes, like cautionary tales, and think, okay, how can I change the situation for the future? And anyway, well, the thing is, I do see that, that you are incredibly ambitious on wanting to take off towards a different direction. But let's look at the future. 6 of Wands, a personal celebration. 8 of Wands, and something that may not seem like it's moving. And 7 of Swords, an active strategy, con artistry, or any kind of deceptive individual. Okay. Yeah, I remember I did some kind of reading about how, you guys could have suffered from maybe some kind of bad habits in your personal reading in the last one with Aquarius. But the thing is I don't really see you wanting to do that per se. But, it's like, if you're incredibly ambitious, you are, celebrating something in the future. So this could actually be having this light bulb moment, clarity. This could also be, the judgment moment, where actually you just think, I'm so glad that I took off and just actually, I escaped the whole, negative experience from my past, and I'm pretty much now heading off towards something different. Now, I'm kind of worried about the 8 of Wands, that you probably also feel directionless, stuck, and that there could be some kind of deceptive situation taking place in the future. Okay, I want to look into this, because I mean, it's also an act of strategy on wanting to actually, will maybe refuel your motivation again, because the Seven of Swords is kind of still an act of wanting to plan, at least strategize something, just like with any kind of con artist. Not saying you are one, but that's kind of, what con artists do is they have this very good, concrete, sharp plan that will pretty much, impact their victims. Okay, well, clarification, Seven of Wands in the past, you did get the Eight of Wands. So the thing is, it's like you actually wanted to leave this, lack of motivation and inspiration of whatever it may have been, because the thing is, I do see you, you were incredibly heading towards something, maybe, heading towards, this alternative route, more or less. It could have contributed to you having no motivation, but it could also be that, okay, you have no motivation or inspiration in the past, but you were more or less heading off towards a different direction already in the past, which is very remarkable, strong, and courageous no matter what. Because, it's like, if you feel like you're like in an Eight of Swords, kind of like dazed, confused, directionless, and stuck, the only person who can get you out of that situation is you, and you alone. It takes a lot of strength and effort and energy, of course, so take good care of yourself and rest up and do whatever it takes to keep you going and stuff like that. But that's what I mostly saw in your past, is, you wanted to escape this whole situation, which is very remarkable. Despite not having, confidence or any kind of maybe support anyway, you get the Four of Pentacles. You were still incredibly stable no matter what. And that's the deep and sad truth. It's like if you're stuck in the middle of nowhere. A lot of humans, they will try to hitchhike hitchhike with, some strange person and stuff like that. But maybe if there's nobody around and stuff like that, you still have to walk towards your destination no matter what. And always, will remind how stable and grounded you always have to be during any, situation where you just think, well, I actually have no motivation or faith or confidence during any kind of situation. But and anyway, you always have to, will keep as strong and grounded, even though you pretty much just think, well, I just feel so out of it, directionless, I feel stuck. But the only person who could ever free yourself from any kind of negative situation is you, and you alone. Despite Judgment reversed, you have actually no kind of celebrating moment, no kind of grand announcement. You got the Ace of Grails, so you were actually presented with an alternative, abundant new beginning in the past. Okay. Well, the thing is as long as you keep at it, at any kind of goal, quest, endeavor, voyage that you're more or less heading towards, as long as you just keep, you just, don't give up, sometimes you do have to walk, by the side of the road or even on the highway, just kind of actually just thinking, okay, I don't have any other resources right now. The thing is the fact that you were presented with this new beginning, whatever it was, because that's why you do get the Emperor, which could also be a sign of your confidence coming back into place. So, but let's see what the Emperor has to say. Five of Grails, okay. The thing is I'm not allowed to show the Five of Grails, but you get the Emperor. So what I see here is, you are presented with this new alternative thing, but somehow, it does lead you to some kind of disappointment, because afterwards you do get the Six of Pentacles reversed, which is kind of a one-way street of, a one-sided charity of whatever it may be. Yeah, the thing is, it's like you do have confidence, but there's some kind of disappointment or disparity of some kind. I mean, I don't really sense the word regret unless, or remorse, for that matter, in this reading and stuff like that, unless, of course, it does resonate with you. But I can sense, how this could also be, it tried to build your confidence back up, but then, your past is still trying to haunt you, trying to catch up to you while you're more or less trying to head down this, new road, that's going to be taking you towards, this way better road, but your past is still trying to haunt you, and it will... and say, oh no, well please, don't leave me behind and stuff like that. But of course you should always try to leave it behind. But this is kind of like, the past is maybe trying to come and catch up with you again and stuff like that. Because despite the Six of Pentacles reversed, you get the Queen of Grails. So, the thing is if you feel like, you're kind of dealing with any kind of one-sided charity, you feel like, you're all alone, you feel like you don't really have much, support or anybody around and stuff like that. Okay, as long as you take good care of yourself, you do a lot of self-love, self-care, self-support, and self-nurturing. It's very important, because the only person who's always going to be there for you is you alone. And so, I mean, it's too bad if you feel like that you're all alone in this world. I think thousands of humans probably feel the same way. I know I felt that way when I woke up from my 300-year slumber. I was technically alone, but I also pretty much just thought, well, I don't have anybody. I don't have any kind of companion. I don't have a vampire, that's going to be guiding and supporting and nurturing and taking good care of me. No, I had to try to figure that out, on myself, and it was just very difficult and very, discouraging in many ways. But eventually, it's like, when I, kept at it, just, with, baby steps at a time, eventually, something did work out for me and stuff like that. So this is also a reminder to take good care of yourself. The Chariot, ambitious, because you get the Two of Wands. Okay. Now, this is where your ambition, pretty soon is going to be showing up. Now, this could be, some unexpected, sign or symbol that's going to be taking place where you're actually motivated and determined and passionate about actually wanting to get out, because you get the Six of Wands afterwards. So the thing is, as long as you take good care of yourself right now, the thing is, okay, there's always going to be disparity and disappointment no matter what. I still suffer with that stuff occasionally myself. So it's not going to be the first or the last in any way. But I do see you actually just thinking, okay, I want to take off, I want to leave, this disappointment, Five of Cups, situation behind, it's like that's, those thoughts and feelings are trying to still cling on to me and stuff like that, but you have to really try to brush them off as quickly as possible and then just run, just like in any way, just to try to escape, those moments and stuff like that, because clinging on to the past is like hypocritical Gabriella here, but the thing is, it's inevitable to even, we'll forget about the past, because the past will always be there like emotional scars in any way. So, it's like it's easier said than done, and it's even maybe impossible for many reasons and stuff like that. But the crux and any, the crux of any of that stuff is to just say, okay, it's like I may have suffered, but I shouldn't allow my past negativity to be having any kind of place in current times, because, it's like I don't want to be, reliving those painful memories anymore. And the best way to actually shed, even though it's like trying to put ointment or some kind of salve on your actual scars, is just to accept that they're there. But don't try to, constantly be looking at them and thinking, oh yeah, because I could constantly be looking at the bite marks, in my neck and even in other places of my body and stuff like that. But the thing is, it's like always, try to remember that you're not going to be the same victim individual that you once were in the past, that you're actually way stronger, more capable in current times. Six of Wands, Ace of Swords. You're incredibly passionate and determined, and there's something worth celebrating, but that's also motivating you to want to put time and effort into this beautiful future voyage. Congratulations to my beautiful Aquarius as man, woman, because you're really passionate and ambitious right now, and now you're going to be putting more time and effort into something. Whatever this goal, dream, or desire you're more or less heading towards, congratulations on actually using one of your beautiful Ace of Swords, my beloved air sign. I'm so impressed. I'm so honored and so impressed to have you, to have you on my channel and stuff like that. But I just think, actually being able to find this strength within you, even though you've dealt with probably countless disappointments, Five of Cups, disparities, all kinds of negativities in the past, the fact is, okay, it's like sometimes you do have to remind yourself how strong and capable you are just by keep going no matter what. It even took me a long time even to want to start redoing my tarot again. It's like it already took enough energy to get out of my coffin and casket. However, the fact is that I've always had it in the first place, just like you have always had your kind of courage and strength within you. Now you're proving it to yourself how strong and capable you are. Eight of Wands reversed. You get 10 of Wands. Okay, so maybe you feel like you're kind of burdened and you pretty much just think, well, the thing is maybe, the timing isn't right. Maybe because regarding the Seven of Swords, what is going on? Because you do get the Five of Swords afterwards. So you're definitely going to be heading down towards this winning of this battle. And this is more or less an act of strategy. You're already planning something. So maybe this is where you're actually putting time and effort into something. But this is you actually having to start planning how you're going to be defeating this whole situation in the future. This could be you shedding off the past negativity. This could be you welcoming new opportunities, whatever it may be. However, the thing is, I do see a lot of hard work taking place in the future. And you're going to be overcoming some battle in the future as well, because you're putting a lot of time and effort into planning this. And sometimes you have to put any kind of desire or need or whatever you want a bit on a low simmer or shelve it for a bit. But I do see you working hard I see you putting a lot of time and effort, and you're going to be winning this battle in the future. And these are two beautiful air cards for my beloved air sign. That's what I like to say. I'm just so honored, you know. It's like, it just shows how strong and capable you are. I think I did a similar reading, you know, in your past Aquarius, just to show how strong and capable you are. But I would never underestimate any Aquarius out there, because you guys are very intelligent, very strong-willed, fixed, of course, you know, fixed, strong-willed signs. And so whatever you want, need, and desire, sometimes you just need to have patience. Sometimes you just have to wait for the timing to show up. But your ambition has always been there in the first place, no matter what. So I think, you know, sometimes you just have to wait for that moment just to show up again. Okay. Special vampire card. Three of Cups. You're going to be celebrating something in the future. Can't say when or what, but I do see Six of Wands in the future, Three of Cups in the future for you. My goodness. Wow, you're definitely going to be having a beautiful, happy ending no matter what. So whatever is taking place, I mean, I can't say what exactly, but, you know, whatever kind of celebratory occasion is going to be taking place, it's definitely going to be taking place, and you're going to feel so incredibly happy, euphoric, and proud of yourself, as I am for you. What does Oracle have? Creator, catalyst, maker, mother, father. You could be a mother, father, catalyst, or creator. But you're pretty much, you know, creating this new you for you. I mean, okay, the thing is, you know, it's like, you know, this is you actually, you know, finding or, you know, creating your ambition again. Maybe it's just kind of, you know, having to muster up the strength again. Maybe you have to just, you know, create your own, what do you call, yeah, your passion, just kind of try to revive it again. You're definitely creating a very beautiful celebratory occasion that's going to be taking place in the future. Again, I can't say when or how, because tarot has no time frame, but I do see you actually creating something, and it's just going to give you a beautiful celebratory occasion and moment in the future. Whatever it is, I'm just so proud and so honored and happy to be giving you this reading for my beloved Aquarius, as man, woman, whoever I'm addressing. Okay, I'm going to finish off with 3 yes or no cards. Please feel free to pause this video and think about the questions you want answered. For 1, you get no with the Page of Pentacles reversed. You get yes with the 6 of Swords. And you get no with the King of Wands reversed. Okay. Well, my beautiful Aquariuses, I'm going to have to leave it at that. But if this reading resonated, please feel free to join and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you guys incredibly. I'm so proud of everything that's taking place right here. But anyway, in a few days, I'm going to go back to general love readings. I'm going to go back and forth between general and love readings for now. But I'm also open for personal readings. So if somebody wants to have a personal reading, all you have to do is just post in the discussion box that you want one, and I'll respond to you with my email. But anyway, thank you so much for your love and devotion towards my channel. I love you guys incredibly. So best of care and best of luck, and I love you guys.